Alrighty, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades and Cheesesteaks. Hot off a ass beating of the Washington
Mm-hmm.
Commanders on our way,
55.
on our way to New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. The Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. How we feel?
Feel great, man.
Yeah,
It's starting to hit me a little bit. It's
yeah,
taking a little bit to start hitting me.
same.
I gotta say, I think this is part of the like it's killing me this week not to be back in the area because I feel
Yeah,
like that's part of, I
the
should be just
charm.
I should be hearing about Super Bowl all the time. Like everyone walking on the street should be Super Bowl. Everyone on the radio, everyone in anything to do with it should be Super Bowl. I should just overhear people talking about the Super Bowl. So I do miss that a lot. I think that's why it's not hitting as hard as it is now. But
Right.
so yeah, I'll have to live through you. How is the reaction around town?
It was great. I mean, I went had to keep the tradition going. I've watched the Eagles conference championship game in Philly the last three times they've been in it, and they've won all three times.
Nice.
So,
There you go.
um, just even like it was like I think 12 o'clock when I got into Philly, and the streets were like if you're going to a coffee shop, people wearing green. If you were walking to the drugstore, people wearing green. If you were going
See,
grocery
that's what I
shopping,
miss.
people wearing. It was everywhere. Like you thought it was fucking St. Patrick's Day. Like it
I
was
know.
green
Yeah.
everywhere.
See, this is one of those weeks I really, really miss being back. Like I want to live in the moment. I want to feel it. I want to see what's happening. I want everyone to be
Even
on my wavelength.
even the Empire State Building lit up green for the Eagles
Yeah,
in New
that's
York.
I'd be furious. I don't understand the reasoning behind that one,
I
but
thought it was funny. No, yeah, it was awesome. And then, to be honest, I think it was well. I think people were a little more tame than 2 years ago. But more chaos was happening, I would say.
that's an interesting way to put it. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen some like footage, like people are jumping on top of
Yeah.
police cars. They're like riding on police cars.
Oh
The
yeah.
people are climbing the poles. I saw a couple people fall. I
Yep.
hope they're alive.
Yeah, there
It,
was yeah, it was I was right like right where City Hall is. I was like straight down from there, but like super close. And there were people climbing the traffic lights and one guy was standing on the top and I was like my like buzz had worn off and I was like if this motherfucker falls right now, I don't want to see a dead body. Like
he's not going to see the Super Bowl.
but it was getting me a little anxious, but even worse than that, there was somebody was setting off fireworks like in between buildings. I was just like, is this a good idea? Like I'm all about celebrating, but like I don't know about this one. Like I was surprised the cops didn't do anything for a while and then um eventually they started enforcing people to relax. Some guy, like a huge crowd of people started like moving backwards all of a sudden. They're like, cops have tear gas. And I was like, okay, I don't want to get involved in that. And then, yeah, there were people standing on top of like the bus awnings, like, where they sit and
Hmm.
wait for the bus. And eventually the cops, well, not even the cops, they were like SWAT or something, had like batons and they started
Hmm.
like beating people when they weren't listening. Like some kid
Fair
kept trying
enough.
to climb up and I could only see like the top half of his body, like of him trying to pull himself up, and he kept like falling back down and then like pulling himself up and falling back down. I was like, "What's this guy doing?" And then I get around and there's a cop just fucking beating his legs. He's like, "I told you to get down." I was like, "Oh my God!"
Hey,
So
everyone needs practice. That kid needs to, work on his upper body strength and practicing before the Super Bowl. And the cops need to work
yeah,
on um once, what are they going to do when people start rioting after the Eagles win the Super Bowl?
I don't know, but they didn't grease the polls because everybody, male, woman, any gender, any person of age was climbing them poles and anything you could stand on top of, people were doing. Um,
Fair enough.
yeah. And then somebody like brought a boombox and Meek Mill started playing, and then someone was dressed up as like a full eagle costume. Um, yeah, people were jumping on like dump trucks, like grabbing on dump trucks as they were driving by. I was like, this is
So the usual, just chaos and nonsense.
yeah, it was yeah. So
Well, that's cool. Well,
good
hey,
times
it's
though. Yeah.
good reaction. It looked good. It's exactly what I expected. So
Uh,
hopefully, what from 2 weeks from now, exactly, the city's on the verge of burning down.
well, we'll be running down either good or bad. So,
That's true.
um,
Yeah,
I
but I'm
do.
feeling optimistic.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I know like the hot take. I know on Monday when I was listening to like ESPN and NFL Network and all that, like the immediate reaction, or even like Sunday night, was like, yeah, the Eagles appear to be better in a lot of ways than the Chiefs, but Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. So like people were picking the Chiefs
Oh,
off for it.
forget that, man. You know who the real X factor is, and I think you saw it.
Spagnola.
He's the most slept on coordinator in the NFL, and I think it's mostly because he will never actually entertain a head coaching job. So
Oh,
everyone
he's so.
drools
Why
over
would you?
like,
He's so content where he is.
oh my God, like, but
Great
it's like
spot.
everyone drools over, Aaron Glenn, not saying he's bad, but Ben Johnson, like, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
they might be good head coaches, don't get me wrong, but Spagnuolo is the best defense coordinator in the league. And I think we
probably
touched
ever.
on this before. So I said, touched on this before. I don't think there is a primary coordinator in the Hall of Fame. I would put Steve Spagnuolo in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean there are. I mean, people keep saying that, but
Coordinators
like,
only, like that have no head coaching. I mean, obviously he was head coach for, a second or two, but
yeah,
just
what
off
the
his
Giants or
coordinator
something?
resume,
I
the
forget.
Rams,
Oh,
St.
Rams.
Louis,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there people keep saying that, but I feel like wouldn't you just get in as a coach? I don't think it's labeled a head coach Hall of Fame. It's just like you going as a coach.
No, well, what I'm saying is that there's never been a coach in the Hall of Fame that hasn't had, that isn't primarily a coordinator. Like every coach in the Hall of Fame, as far as I know, are primarily head coaches. Their successes come primarily from head coaches. I mean, yeah, pretty much every coach has been a DC at some one point or another. Belichick was a defense coordinator. A lot of those offensive guys were offensive coordinators firsthand, but Spagnuolo found his spot, his niche. He's in a great situation with the Chiefs. He likes working under Big Red, and now they're in the Super Bowl for the 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, it's we gotta. I mean, we technically prevented the Patriots from a three-peat,
It's
and
true.
because they won, then we beat them, then they won again. So they were there 3 years in a row. Um, but I just
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like you said, I do feel confident. Oh, my cat is like all up in me. What are you doing?
I'm extremely nervous at the same time because of like what we said and I've been saying is like the Chiefs just win. They find a way to win. Everyone all year you hear, oh, the Chiefs aren't that good. They don't look great. This isn't the same Chiefs. And then they're 15-1 and they're in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like I think, the same old Chiefs, is very applicable. This is the same team. I don't know if they're as good as the first time we played them, but I think
No,
all the key factors are there. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not getting too ahead of myself because this team knows how to win. They've proven that they know how to win every single year.
that's the thing. We have to come correct with a phenomenal game plan. Like we, I would say besides tight end, quarterback, I think that's it. I think every other position Eagles are better in, to be honest.
I give him Chris Jones.
Maybe D line, but although
No, I give him Chris Jones. That's it.
just Chris Jones.
You
I
look at
meant more
the, I
position
mean,
groups, but
look,
yeah.
I'll give him the credit. This is what makes, I think, Mahomes, Reed, Spagnola, Chris Jones, McDuffie, like even more impressive.
Hmm.
Is I think you've got Jones, Duffy, Mahomes, the interior offensive line, so Tooney, Humphrey, Smith.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think those are your only impact
They've
players.
been very beatable
Xavier
though.
Worthy is very good. Oh, and Travis Kelce, but Xavier
Fast.
Worthy is very good.
It's very fast.
But I think those are your impact players. That's it. Really, that's it. I don't see any other impact players in this team. I see incredible coaching and just incredible play by those players, and just they're so calm. They never get rattled. They never make mistakes. They never turn the ball over. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna be tricky. I know Mahomes has actually been dealing with a, I think, high ankle sprain like all year.
I'm not falling for that again.
Yeah, I know.
Remember when his ankle was falling off
Well,
and when we played him?
it was, and then he came out of the half on like a million, milligrams of Percocets or whatever they gave him, and he felt no pain at all.
No.
So I don't know. I do feel good about it. I'm not gonna say like, they're gonna dominate them, but I think it'll be a close game. Like it'll be a good game like it was 2 years ago. But I think the Saquon factor, like, is you like this Eagles team is better than the team that lost, and I think this
Oh
Chiefs
yeah,
team is worse than the team that won.
I
So
would agree with that.
by mathematical equations, we should win. But
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at this like what would you give them from this last team to this team? Saquon's obviously a mile better than Miles Sanders. I think offensive line is right around there.
yeah, I mean,
Sayamalo and
Miles was
Becton, a
good,
coin
but they
flip.
they also didn't give Miles the ball in the Super Bowl at all.
Oh, stop. Just get out of here. Miles Sanders can't even sniff Saquon Barkley. And I like Miles Sanders,
I
but he's not even
I'm
close.
not saying he's not close, but I mean he was fifth in rushing yards or third in rushing yards that year that we went to the Super Bowl.
That's all right. What did he do after that?
He got her.
Because
He
he
hasn't been healthy. He's been stuck in the Panthers backfield. He's been
Yeah, but
hurt.
you know what? What we learned about Miles Sanders is the same thing that we saw from DeAndre Swift. Is this system can turn a running back that is okay into really good.
Oh yeah.
Like DeAndre Swift had a great year,
Oh no.
but look what happens
I
when you
mean,
have a real talent running
yes.
back. Saquon Barkley's
Sanders is here.
unstoppable.
Saquon's up here. I'm not saying they're the same. I'm just saying the Eagles got away from running the ball. I mean, Jalen had a phenomenal Super Bowl that year. Probably should have won MVP for losing, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I just don't want them to overcomplicate things. Like it should be like whatever game plan they use for against Washington, take that, modify it a little bit, and then throw it back out. Like it
I
worked
think
really
you
well.
listen.
Let Jalen
I
throw. Like
I know Jalen said that I thought his quote was good. He's like this
let me
week,
out of my straight jacket.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great quote. And you know what? Credit to him because he's been getting ripped apart about the passing game being terrible. And he's kind of right though. Like anyone that watches the Eagles that looks past the fact that Jalen Hurts threw for 140 yards and AJ Brown had one catch. Look at the fact that Saquon Barkley's getting 30 carries a game.
Yeah,
Like, what do you expect? When is he supposed to throw the ball when you're handing the ball off 30 times a game to Saquon Barkley?
yeah. I did really like the in the trophy ceremony when Nick Sirianni was being interviewed. Um, he was like, how about that quarterback? Like, how about our quarterback? Whatever. That he was like, stop doubting him, and like Jalen like started smirking a little. And he's like, all he does is win, and then you see Jalen like with a big smile, and I was like, all right,
It's
let's give
it's
me the
true.
birds by a million. Like,
That felt so good because you knew they had a game plan. I mean, Washington's pass defense is not good. And they
no,
got,
I mean
oh
Lattimore
yeah.
is the most
Well,
hot and cold corner. Like he's either gonna knock like shut you down or he's gonna get fucking torched. So
he also was fighting quite a bit with Major Brown. Makes me think maybe that Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore rivalry is kind of a one-way street because I haven't seen Mike Evans beef with anyone. Marshawn Lattimore seemed to fight everyone.
yeah, I mean no, I mean they went back and like I think in more recent years. Mike Evans has won that battle, but I'm pretty sure like Lattimore's had his number most of his career, if I'm not mistaken. But um, yeah, it was I don't know. I don't mind a little bit of the fighting, as a rival. I
Oh yeah, I love to
thought
see it.
I thought the call when Frankie Louvu kept trying to jump over the lineman and the rest were
Yeah,
like, all right, like if we've warned Washington, if this type of behavior happens again, we're gonna give Philly like a touchdown. So you better just stay on sides.
never heard
Which
of that in my entire life
I
before.
don't
But then again,
understand
in that situation,
if you're a fan of football in general. I don't understand how you like people were mad about that. I was like, you can't like the Eagles are as far as you can get. So you're telling me you're okay with the other team continue to commit a penalty with no repercussions? Like, there comes a point where like someone's gonna get hurt. Like, you're jumping over linemen, and Cam Jurgens has a bad back already. Luvu hits him on the back in a weird spot. Like that could injure our players. He hit Jalen in the head the first time he jumped over. So I'm like, I think that
Oh,
was I didn't know it was a real
it's
thing you
completely
could
deserved.
call, but
I don't, I mean, that's like, what are you going to do? You have to, like, it's almost ridiculous to watch Washington just continuously jump off sides. Like,
yeah,
for the
three
people
times
that
in
are
a row.
saying, oh,
You
it's
can't.
unfair that they give a touchdown, like, dude, this is
We'd be here all
comical at this
night.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. They've shown no sign of
yeah.
not doing this. And the Eagles are just, they're not going to fall for it,
No.
just hard count them. But I thought, I really did. I mean, Jalen passing the game was obviously the biggest positive, I think, from the game. Those two of the balls that would like the toe tapper from Devontae Smith on the sideline, that was
I was
beautiful.
saying to my friend, I was like, uh, it wouldn't be an Eagles playoff year without, or it wouldn't be an Eagles, yeah, it wouldn't be the Eagles playoff year without a suspect Devontae Smith sideline catch. Like I
Oh
remember
man, dude,
the 49ers
it was so
one,
good.
he had that one-handed one that was like iffy. I think he was in though. I think it was very
It was
close.
easily, yeah, it was
Yeah,
easy. He was in. It was close, but man, he put the ball exactly where it needed to be. And Devontae Smith and his body control is incredible. And then the deep shot, I think it was on third down to AJ Brown,
on fourth
where
and
he just put
five,
it fourth, yeah, that fourth down, just put it exactly where it needed to be. AJ
dime.
beat his dude and just easy, just looked
Mm.
so easy. It was amazing.
That
Like,
was
look at the two different teams. I know it's different situations, but Buffalo, fourth and five, obviously at the end of the game. They
mhm.
don't do the blitz pickup, whatever, yada, yada, yada. He throws, actually turned out to be pretty nice. Dalton Kincaid drops it. The Eagles, no problem, just stay calm. Throws a beautiful ball to AJ
Mhm.
Brown, who's already beat his guy, and it was just money. It looks so easy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, incredible. Those are my two favorite plays of the entire game. Incredible.
Um, my favorite. I mean the game was kind of wrapped, but one of my favorite plays was Quignon's interception. Like jumped up, grabbed it over Scary Terry, like knocked it into his hand, fell, kept his feet in bounds, and then got up and did the Scary Terry celebration, and then he like scared the rest of the teammates. Like that was pretty funny.
I loved it. Yeah,
But
from top to bottom, the game looked good. Defense looked good. Obviously, I
Will
mean,
Shipley,
well, Shipley, man, he's got to work on his Jets though. That was his touchdown half.
yeah, I think he sensed someone behind him, and so he tightened up instead of like trying to extend. But yeah, he that was his
That was his
touchdown.
moment, man. We're up
His
by a million.
yards
Just
are
go for
like
it.
nuts because of that play. Yeah, four carries for 77 yards, a 19.2 average.
Not a bad day.
Not a
Not a bad
bad
day at
day.
all.
I mean,
I
Saquon
don't.
averaged 7.9, so
I mean, he never has bad days.
no,
He
demon.
the three. So my obviously this game was just an ass kicking. 55 points in a conference championship game is actually insane.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be a very highly contested, close matchup, and they just blew them out of the water. And I'm not gonna lie, Washington was fun and all, but I kind of expected, maybe not this bad, but I did kind of expect we would handle them pretty easily.
Hmm.
Three confidences going into the Chiefs game. Now that we can move past the Washington game a little bit, I think the running game we touched on. I would expect a heavy dosage of the running game. I would say we lean more into the running game than we did passing,
Yeah.
like we've done all season, and kind of I wouldn't take the Washington game of what the game plan is going to be going against the Chiefs. I think the interior defensive line and the pass rush in general, really, I think could be a problem for the Chiefs. That made me really excited. And did the secondary. I look at how good our secondary is, thinking, all right, Mahomes is awesome. Xavier Worthy's been really good, but Mitchell is just as fast as Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
He could definitely take him. Darius Slay, put him on whatever bum they got on
Yeah,
across
yeah.
him. A
I
washed
love
up.
Slay, but don't let Worthy be on Slay.
No. You see, you take Slay, who's a little, a couple steps behind, veteran, but the whole Chiefs locker, wide receivers are like that. Juju's washed. DeAndre Hopkins is washed. I don't even know if Hollywood Brown's playing, but if he is, he's washed.
Is Hopkins? I don't think has a catch in the playoffs. Like
He's just there for a ride.
he just wants a ring, I guess. I don't know.
I can't blame him. But I think it's going to work really well. Keep the ball away from Mahomes. That's the formula that's always worked. And play strong defense. And you know what? I think passing's going to be tough, but dude, James Cook had 13 carries at a 6.5 yard clip, and he also had two touchdowns.
Yeah, you can run on the Chiefs.
Yeah,
This is not the Chiefs defense that people have come to know over the last few years.
that's what makes more impressive what Spagnuolo is doing because they really don't have many
Oh
players
yeah.
in that defense.
Well, like this is why I think I feel pretty good about our odds because I mean, this team's the camaraderie is insane. Like everyone is fighting for themselves, like fighting for each other. Like there's so much every time someone scored, like Saquon like ran all the way down the field to congratulate Shipley. Like everyone's so in it together. There was a video of CJ like being held by Sirianni. He's like very, very emotional, like crying about the win and stuff. Like I feel like this team is so tight. They're such like a family that that's gonna help even more push them over the top. But I don't know. Everyone's just hungry. Like Jalen looks like he wants to really win. Saquon obviously is starving for a ring. Um,
I think it also helps quite a bit is there's a good amount of players from that Super Bowl loss that are here.
Also true.
Like all your skill players are still here. Most of the line is still here. Um, Slay, Sweat, trying to think what other defenders will be still there. Gardner
We
Johnson.
Jalen Carter we drafted that year, right? So
Yeah, no, he
this
wasn't on the
is
team
yeah.
because it was Devontae
So
Smith, Dickerson. I believe was that. I think Dickerson and Jurgens were both on the team because I think I'm almost positive with the same draft class. Jurgens obviously did play, but
uh
I
were
don't know if
they were not
Dickerson.
the same draft class, are they?
Maybe I made that up,
I
but
think you made that up.
it sounded like something that could have been true.
I think you made that up. Um I mean I don't think the roster changed that much. Let's see. Eagles
Touching on
roster.
the touching on this Chiefs and Bills game a little bit, just a little recap. Obviously, the Bills, what pissed me off about the Bills, and I think it's so stupid, but I really think it hurt them quite a bit, and this is what makes me like appreciate the Eagles and Jalen even more,
Hmm.
is how many times you see other teams try to run the tush push and they just can't do it. It just doesn't work. Josh Allen is like 6'6", and he still struggled. Mind you, it was very obvious, and I just watching a few Bills games throughout the regular season knew this was a thing because they talked about it all the time because he loves to go left. I mean, this guy literally takes two straight steps to the left after he gets signed, after he gets snapped and just goes forward.
Our
Eventually, the Chiefs
defense,
caught on to that.
yeah, our defense is much different. Um our I guess Reed Blankenship was either hurt or not starting at the time. Or he might have been a rookie, I don't know. But so offense was virtually the same. Landon Dickerson was on the team. He was starting at left guard. We had Isaac Sayamalu and obviously Jason Kelsey. Miles Sanders. Defense was Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
Linval Joseph was a starter apparently. That's what the list is. Fletch, Hassan Reddick, TJ Edwards, Slay, Marcus Epps was safety,
Mm.
CJ, and then Avante was our slot. And can't
And
forget
Bradbury.
James Bradbury,
Yeah.
who
Who I think might be on the team. I'm not sure.
so I heard a rumor that he actually is like kind of just been like a coach, like he's been like helping coach the players instead.
I don't hate it. I don't
That's
hate it. I just
if he is, he's working. So I mean,
he's in like the Udonis Haslem role. Like,
hmm.
he's technically a player, but it's very obvious that he's never going to play and he's more coaching than he is playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard a weird rumor that he was like content with not playing, and he was like, "I'll coach." I was like, "Okay,
Listen, I'm fine with it. I clearly it's
don't
been
hold me to
working.
that." That's what I heard, but
I mean, it's clearly working. Like you give the guys flowers. If that is the case, like
yeah,
the just
it is weird
how
that he hasn't been
quick.
activated. You know, he's not dog shit. Like he's still a good backup, but
I mean, he's clearly your number. I mean, flip a coin between him and Maddox because Maddox looks just washed.
well, Bradbury, he's a smart player. He just his physical ability is not there anymore. So,
Listen, give him credit. If he is coaching, I mean, Mitchell and DeJean hit the ground running.
oh
You
my
don't
God,
see rookie secondary players pick it up that quick. I mean,
let's see.
DeJean missed a
Yeah,
couple weeks, but oh my God, look at those two. Look how good they are.
I think Coop had a rough. His Packers game was a little rough. Rams got a little better, and then this game he was lights out. I felt like he looked really good. Although Ertz was kind of carving us up, but he can have
Eh,
it.
you
So,
can't win them all. I think they were more focused on the deep ball. And they minus that one play that Scary Terry had. I actually thought they held him in check pretty well.
hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, the next test is going to be real. I mean, yeah, Terry 3 for 51. He had 36 yards on that one play, so you can live with it. I mean, yeah, Ertz got 11 receptions for 104 yards, kind of crazy. But you pick and choose your battles. Is Zach Ertz going to be the one that beating you? Fine, I can live with it.
He had like 100 yards, I think, like 11
Yeah, 11
catches.
catches,
Yeah,
104 yards.
good for him.
You know he was motivated.
Oh yeah, of course. I felt, but I was at I don't know if I'm mispronouncing Plow and Stars in Philly. It's like an Irish bar, and they have like a giant screen on the wall. But
Hmm.
this they show like Ertz's like he went up on the screen, and like a couple of people started booing, and I like literally yelled, I was like, "Don't do that!" I was like, "You can't boo Zach Ertz." Like, come on
Listen,
now.
in game you can boo him.
I don't know.
Completely acceptable. Pre-game, obviously you cheer
No, it
him.
was like pregame, like they were showing his face, and I was like, "The fuck we booing for?"
It's a playoff game. I'm okay
Well, he
with
caught a
it.
diving Super Bowl touchdown. Don't do that.
It's a playoff game. You
But
got to let it go.
no, I saw after the game him and he was walking to like the tunnel, and Fletch was like shouting for him, and then they like embraced for like 5 minutes or something, and it sucks for him. I know he would rather be in Philly, but I think he actually like that team's weird where they have Washington, I think might fall into the Texans thing where they look like they're going to be the next big team, and then the year after they fall off a little bit, just because I think the Commanders have a lot of veterans on 1 year deals that they need to get more youth at like positions of need.
Hmm.
Um, but Jaden Daniels will help keep them like into the playoffs every
Oh,
year.
listen, if you're Washington, this season
Oh
was
yeah,
awesome. You were
you're
what,
you're
2 wins
upset, but
last
you're
year?
not mad. I would say you're upset, but not mad.
You found a franchise quarterback for the next decade, and you made the NFC conference championship
Yeah,
game. Like you
yeah.
had 2 wins, I think, last
As
year.
long as long as y'all retool and make sure you get a line put up in front of him to a decent level so he's not running for his life. Um, because he gets rid of the ball quick. Like
Oh, he's awesome.
he was like sniping that thing. I was like especially on the Terry McLaurin one, like he just whipped that shit in there, and I was like, God damn.
Well, listen, the first drive of the game, they looked really good. They marched down the field. I mean, it was pretty
Like they took
impressive
like
of them.
half the quarter, and then we made him take a field goal, and then we had one play, and Saquon went 60 yards. Saquon in the first quarter, I think, had 2 carries for 2 touchdowns. I was like, beautiful.
That is the game changer. That's the biggest thing that's going to be different from the last year that this year. All right, so we gave Washington the props. Zach Ertz, great to see him. Jane Daniels gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Three things that are going to win us the Super Bowl. Three things that'll lose us the Super Bowl.
Uh, win us a Super Bowl, feeding Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley is a game changer. He is
Yes.
arguably the best player in the NFL right now, and I
Um,
I think he has a strong argument for it.
second would be um the D line getting pressure on Mahomes. Because I think our secondary is gonna hold out just fine against these receivers. Where they might sprinkle in here and there, and Kelsey's gonna, probably make Oren Burks his bitch. Although I really like how Oren Burks has played.
He has
Um,
played well.
he's been a contributor, but he's not a great coverage guy. So I think um, Travis Kelsey's gonna have a day. But so I would say the D line getting pressure, especially Jalen Carter, um, and Jalen. I think Jalen, if he plays really well, and smart with the ball like he's been all year, we have a good chance. Now to lose, three things that will lose us the game: uh, bad coaching, or not bad coaching, but poor game plan, poor like because I felt like the last Super Bowl we got out coached was the biggest thing. Because
Oh
on
yeah, I
paper
mean
we were basically like toe for toe, and Jalen had a better
Andy
stat line
Reid
than Mahomes, but
cooked.
oh
Andy
yeah,
Reid cooked
oh yeah,
Jonathan Gannon.
yeah.
He put him through
Now
a
Gannon
just
was also
clinic.
fielding fucking job offers the week of the
Well, so
Super
was
Bowl,
Steichen.
so.
I mean, Steichen also took a job. He obviously he wasn't as dirty as Gannon, who already had the job lined up. But
Yeah.
Steichen clearly, he was putting his feelers out there. He eventually took a job.
Yeah, I think I
And
think I just saw
are we
Kellen
worried
Moore's.
about yeah, Kellen Moore apparently is because no one else wants the Saints job. Apparently
I
Kellen
wouldn't want
Moore's
that job.
God no. But apparently
Uh
Kellen Moore's he's eligible for it.
I hope he just focuses in. I mean, I don't know. I You have 2 weeks to prepare. My thought is like 2 weeks to prepare, and we were in the same scenario 2 years ago. So like, especially for Sirianni, it's like you've got to get this game plan right.
I mean,
Um,
Fangio's is night and day from Gannon. He's not going to get
oh, I
fooled. Like
know.
he's not going to get embarrassed like Gannon got.
Yeah, so I would say uh, coaching could lose us the game. Getting away from the run, which kind of like I said, feed Barkley, but just in general, like forcing the ball, getting away from the run, that could lose us the game. Um, and then just not containing Mahomes because I feel like he ran a lot against the Bills.
He's been doing it all season. That's his game, like what's
Yeah,
changed in his game so much.
so I mean, someone's got to be on him, kind of like what we were talking about in our group chat. Like someone's got to be a spy. They have to have a game plan for that. So
Yeah, I would that's the big one I'm worried. So I'll give you my three wins. Obviously, the first one is Saquon Barkley.
yeah.
I mean, teams want to say, oh, when you're running the ball, you can't keep up and scoring and you're not explosive. Then you see Saquon Barkley run for a 60-yard touchdown every single week. So
Hmm.
he's the difference maker. I mean, he's the best offensive skill player in the league. He's got my vote. He's a game changer.
I still think he should win
Um,
MVP.
oh yeah, me too. Second one from there, we touched on this a little bit. I'm not so much worried about the pass rush, like sack numbers,
Hmm.
because I do think our secondary is better than the Chiefs receivers, that they can hold them and
Yeah.
they can get time. It's the contain. Like that's the thing, man. Mahomes, I've seen him do it all year. He's so good moving in the pocket and getting out of the pocket. I mean, I know Jaden Daniels and Lamar are more electric, but give me Mahomes scrambling. Finds the hole easily, and he always picks up 10 yards. Never gets hit, never gets a turnover, and hell, he gets a 15-yard penalty half the time. So that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So don't get out of your lane discipline. Stay disciplined, stay contained. I'm not worried about sack numbers as much as I am just make sure he's not getting out of the pocket.
Okay.
And then my third thing that's going to win us this game, I think is just honestly, I think it's going to be our offensive line. I Chris Jones,
Mm.
that is it. I think Chris Jones is the only defensive player the Chiefs have that actually scares me.
Yeah.
You are so strong on the inside. Jared Jurgens and Dickerson are studs. You have two incredible tackles, and I like Becton a lot.
Yeah.
Pick out a way to stop Chris Jones. I'm not worried about any linebackers. I'm not worried about anyone on the defense line. And if they should be able to give Jalen all the time he wants in the world and give Saquon all the lanes they want, I really think our offensive line can bully the Chiefs defense. Spagnuolo will have something, but I think we can bully them.
Yeah, I think I feel good too. I think they definitely tightened up the second half against Washington. I felt like Washington was getting some like sneaky blitzes in. Like Luvu flew in one time, like right between the line.
Yeah,
It looked like they tightened up. The Rams had a field day with our line. I was pretty disappointed in that performance, but obviously Saquon still ran for a lot. But pass protection was not great. Um, so
that's what it's gonna be.
yeah,
It's
we'll
got to
have
be
to
the game
see.
changer. I mean, I think they can dominate. I'm not really worried about the Rams have an incredible defensive line.
Yeah.
The Chiefs don't. I think your offensive line can bully the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Three things that's going to lose us. One, I'll go back on the other side. You let Mahomes, you got no gap discipline, and we can't figure out a way to stop Mahomes, and he's just scrambling all day.
Oh
I
yeah.
think they're going to end up adjusting, and they're going to get cooked. He's just so good. You can't let him just beat you one way or another. And this one's my second one's my biggest worry is special teams. And it's man, Jake Elliott gets a pass because we haven't lost any of these games.
Hmm.
But man, he cannot keep missing. He is just brutal. You can't tell me at any moment when he takes anything over 50 yards, you have any confidence in him making it.
No,
I
I don't
you
know what
I,
it is, but he's cooked.
I'm sweating everything from an extra point to 40 and closer. And I basically would just rule out anything 45 and longer. Like I
So
just think there's literally no chance.
if the Eagles are down two and 3 seconds left on the clock, and we need Jake to kick a 50 yarder, is he making it?
You know what? I'll give Jake the credit because he's always made the big kicks. Even against the Rams, he misses two extra points, which is mind blowing, but he hits three field goals in the middle of a blizzard. I'll give him
Yeah,
that.
that was nuts.
I'll give him like I think
Yeah.
like he doesn't have a leg. He's not these new kickers who can kick 60-yard field goals, but I think he can make the big ones that count. He just
He's
misses
like
the
hooking it. I
extra
don't know
points,
what it
man.
is. Yeah.
He misses the field goals and the extra points in the beginning of the game. Like he doesn't really miss them at the end. It's the beginning of the game. And that's
It's
why he gets
weird.
passes because he never costs us a game. We've won every single one of the games. That's why he gets by. But he's a big worry. And man, I forget what the guy's name is, but against the Bills, the Chiefs returner was having a field day. He had a couple big
Yeah.
returns. So special teams in general, I'm worried about. And then the other thing I'm worried about is just I think if they're too conservative,
Yeah.
I think the running the ball is great and all, but they're going to have to be able to take some shots. This is where you've got to be able to catch them sleeping. If you're going to ride Barkley three drives in a row, then you got to hit them with some play action. You got to go deep. I know Jalen's been in a straitjacket all year, but I think they've really got to be a way to be aggressive because the Chiefs will never go away. I mean, they're in every single game. You are not gonna just beat them and they're gonna roll over.
Yeah. On a side note, as just a fan of football, what's your how on a scale 1 to 10, how do you feel for Josh Allen? He's lost. He's 0-4 against Pat Mahomes. They cannot seem to figure out a way to beat him. He looked defeated in the post game.
Oh man, I don't necessarily blame him. I mean, it was tough. I thought he played a really good game. Again, I think those 1 yard tush pushes were really hurt them the most.
He struggled in the first quarter though. He did not look great in the first half, but
No, I mean it's what we said about Lamar last week. Lamar looked great in the second half, but dude, you started so slow. Like
yeah.
that hurts you. You can't come out slow like that against the Chiefs.
Yeah. I
But
don't
I mean,
it sucks. I mean, the Bills either lose Super Bowls, four straight Super Bowls, or they lose four straight times to Pat Mahomes. They can't they can't find a way to win. But
and it's it hurts. He'll be okay. I'm actually surprised with how good the Bills were this year. I think the Bills, one thing I think they did overachieve. It's one thing you can take after a disappointing loss and
not a
disappointing season.
strong roster by any means.
No, you know what's amazing? Mac Hollins, who I actually am growing to not stand. I can't stand him because he's got this whole like he makes big plays now.
Caveman.
Suddenly, he's got this whole aura about him. He doesn't wear shoes or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I just remember a press conference where our coaches, they asked him, what does he do well? He lines up well. He lines up well. Like, who lines up well? I could line up well. I don't know. I don't know if he's a free agent, but it's going to be disgusting. But I would imagine he's probably going to get paid quite a bit after this.
I don't know. I can't say. He was a rookie, I
Uh,
think, our Super Bowl year in 2017.
yeah,
So
he was a complete bum, and there he is making the biggest catch of his entire life.
yeah,
And he,
I don't know.
but that's what they lost Diggs, they lost a bunch of guys on defense, they lost Gabe Davis, they really didn't do it. Dalton Kincaid kind of looks like he sucks. Amari Cooper's completely washed. Going
Hmm.
into the season with Mac Hollins and Khalil Shakir as your number one and two, that's not going to get it done. I think what they really missed, they should have rode James Cook a lot more. 13 carries is not enough. You got to run the
Yeah,
ball against.
Cook and Allen
I
is a
mean, you
great
run it
combo,
well.
but
You run the tush push 10 times and it doesn't work. Why not just try to do something with James Cook? Just try something different.
yeah, yeah. That game was great for us though, because it
Mhm.
was like, hey, look, the other teams can't do it. So
Oh yeah. Uh, we'll see. I mean, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I mean, the Bills and you can throw the Ravens in there too. They're just little brothers to the Chiefs.
yeah,
It was Peyton Manning, Philip Rivers, they all had to deal with it when Brady was there. It's just the circle of life.
yeah. Like the Chiefs are literally just the Patriots. Like,
It's
you know what
just
this
dominance.
bullshit. But I got an interesting stat. Well, I guess technically, yeah, it's a stat. So I'm gonna list a bunch of players, right? Um, Troy Aikman, Tom
Okay.
Brady, John Elway, Pat Mahomes, Ben Roethlisberger, Kurt Warner, Russell Wilson. All probably Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Sure. Russell Wilson's the only one, but sure.
I think you could make it. Well,
I mean,
maybe.
the second half of his career looks ugly, but
Yeah.
go on.
And then you add Jalen Hurts to that list as well.
Okay.
That's a list of quarterbacks who've reached two Super Bowls at least in their first 5 years of their career. Pretty good company.
It's impressive. Well, the one the streak the stat the stat I like is the one he snapped. Remember there was the running no NFC quarterback has lost their first Super Bowl and made it back since I don't like someone well long ago. I don't even remember who it was. Someone from the 90s because McNabb was on the list
Jim
alone.
Kelly, I think it was.
Jim Kelly, yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's an AFC quarterback, but I
Oh, well,
guess
NFL
maybe
in
it was
general. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, good for Hurts. He snapped that one.
We
How
had,
about the
we also broke the record for most rushing touchdowns in a conference championship game. Seven.
seven rushing touchdowns and 55 points in a conference championship game is disgusting.
We had more rushing touchdowns in that game than the Dallas Cowboys had all season.
That's a great stat.
They, I think they had six.
We had our Kenny Pickett was taking snaps at the end of the game in an NFC conference
Mm,
championship game. Absurd.
yeah.
You know what? I want to, let's all give it a round of applause. All the hatred, he doesn't deserve it. Nick Sirianni, got to give him it. Got to
Oh,
give him the credit. Got to give him the credit. I'm still not convinced that he's the best X's and O's coach, but
oh,
he
definitely
knows how
not.
to lead a locker room. He
Yeah.
knows how to lead a team.
He's an old school rah-rah coach that's gonna all leading up to the game, he's gonna get everybody ready, get everyone's mind right, and then be the guy to pump everyone up and bring them up when they're down and make sure everyone's in line. And
Listen,
sometimes you need that.
you
Sometimes
talked
do
about
that,
the
let your coordinators run wild and
yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, man. He attracts really good coordinators. I mean, if Kellen Moore gets the Saints job, which ugh, I don't know if you really want at all, but that's
I wouldn't if I
three
was him.
coordinators that have had coaching jobs under Sirianni for what? He's been there for what, 4 years?
Well, at least Vic's not leaving.
Yeah, Vic's not going. He's in his Spagnuolo era.
He's gonna retire at this point. Unless the Eagles
Ah,
like defense falls off a cliff and they're terrible, like he's not going anywhere.
are you kidding me? If he wins a Super Bowl this year, he's going to look at Steve Spagnuolo and be like, damn, this guy just has the defense coordinator, gets paid a ton of money, and keeps winning Super Bowls. I think I just fell into that position myself right now.
Sure would be nice.
Yeah, but yeah, Nick Sirianni's got the team looking well. I like that we're underdogs this time. I think the first time around, I was I was pretty confident. Like I thought really there was no chance we were going to lose. I just thought we were such a better team than they were. Like I thought we were easily the best team in the NFL.
Most
I like
teams
that this
think.
time we're like we're a little doubted, you know? I think
I don't think it's I don't think it's because of the teams themselves. I think it's just like the Chiefs have been in seven straight conference championships. They are now going into the third straight Super Bowl. Like it's just they're inevitable. Like
I think yeah, I think but this is the thing. I think the pressure is on them to do the three-peat, which I think that's going to be the focus. I think the first time around, we were just so dominant that year. What did we lose? Two games, maybe? We lost the one Washington game, and I feel like we dropped one early in the season that year too. But like
yeah, I
it was just we
remember.
were so good. We were so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep seeing all these like Eagles highlights now, and there's a comment that I've seen on a couple, and they they said it took the Avengers twice to beat Thanos. So
Hey man,
the Chiefs are like the villains of the NFL. So
look at our last four Super Bowl appearances. We went against two dynasties with arguably the greatest head coach and quarterback combo in in NFL history on
mhm.
both sides. You lost the first time. You won the rematch the second time against the Patriots. Let's see what happens with the Chiefs now.
Yeah, as a whole, we are definitely like blessed as far as Eagles success goes because the franchise as a whole, probably between like mid 60s to early 90s, not very good teams. And of course, they went to the Super Bowl, what, 1980 against the Raiders with Ron Jaworski, I
Yeah.
think. Um, but we've been like I saw a stat. We are the second, we have the second most wins in the last 20 since I think since 2000, we have the second most wins behind the Patriots in the playoffs.
Very good.
Um, we're like a top five most winningest team in the last 25 years. Like playoffs very consistently. So, I mean, it's a it's a good time to be an Eagles fan. I mean, Philly fan in general too, but um,
Hey, you got a good foundation. All these young players. I was looking. You look at Howie Roseman's last four drafts.
yeah.
Like the first three rounds of the last four drafts is insane.
Hmm.
The only player drafted in the first three rounds the last 4 years that isn't like a major contributor and won't see any time during the Super Bowl is N'Kobe Dean.
Yeah, which sucks. And
That's
his injury apparently is worse than an ACL. Like he tore his patella tendon, which apparently takes longer to recover or something. But he had surgery last week, so that's why he wasn't at the game. But
well, listen, it is what it is. Win it for N'Kobe.
yeah, I mean, luckily Burks has been doing well for us. So
Yeah, he's actually played really well. Yeah,
yeah,
so we'll see. Brandon Graham might play.
if he can suit up, let him get in there, and you just know like if he plays, he's gonna get to Mahomes for at least
I
some
mean, I give him
pressure.
like
And
if you give him like three snaps, like here and there, like you know he'll give you everything he physically has, but you can't imagine he's gonna be doing too much.
you know who I really like, who's played even better in the playoffs, I think, Jalen Hunt.
Jalen sounds still
He's
good.
getting pressures. Like
So I mean, man, Howie's crushed it. Howie has crushed it.
he was a what third or fourth round gamble because he only played a little bit of football and he's very raw, but they're doing something right.
Hey man, this is the other thing. Vic Fangio and his whole defense coaching staff deserve a lot of credit. A lot of young guys getting minutes. I mean, look, who's the senior? So Slay's a senior. I mean, Josh Sweat, I guess you could throw in as a senior on this team, but everyone else is very young. You know,
I mean, look, I hope Saquon goes off, has a great game. I hope Jalen has an efficient game, no turnovers. AJ gets his, you know, Dallas has had a solid playoffs. Last game was obviously really great. He was taking handoffs on reverses. Um, but I would love for this to be like a, and that's not to disrespect him because he's probably still the best defensive tackle in the league, but almost like a passing of the torch. Jalen Carter taking it from Chris Jones because Chris Jones is like what 31. He's getting up
mm,
there a little
uh,
bit.
did you watch Chris Jones against the Bills? He's
I
not going anywhere.
I know, but I'm just saying like you know kind of like when he took it from Aaron Donald when they beat the Rams, but um,
I also don't know if he took it from Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald gave it up when he retired.
okay, well, fair enough.
I
But
appreciate the sentiment, but
yeah,
let's not assume that Chris Jones is slowing down because man, that guy is a beast.
I'm just saying I want Jalen Carter to play better than Chris Jones in the Super Bowl as well as I hope.
I don't understand why Chris Jones doesn't get any love for like defense player of the year. Get your the writers need to get off the
I
TJ
don't.
Watt, Miles Garrett love.
TJ Watt disappeared like the end of the season too, which is kind of wild. Well, speaking of defense, actually, do you know Nolan Smith broke the Eagles' record for most sacks in the playoffs? In the playoffs, four,
No, not bad.
3 games, 4 sacks. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. That's definitely pretty good.
Ever since you know Huff was ass cheeks and Graham went down, no one had to step up, and he's been good for us.
Again, another one of those young guys that Howie drafted, Fangio developed, and it's looking great.
Yeah. So final thoughts then. 'Cause I don't envision we'll have another episode between now and the Super Bowl.
It might be good to touch up a little bit, but I think we
Squeeze one in.
covered. Yeah,
Well,
I think
regardless.
that's fair.
So give us let's get a score prediction and an MVP for the Super Bowl.
Real quick,
Okay.
we did this on the last episode, so I felt like it was important to bring back.
Dozen duds.
No, Bryce Huff.
Hmm. Two
So
snaps?
obviously he saw some time because the
Well, the
bench is cleared
backups came
out.
in.
Yeah, Bryce Huff more or less than 10 snaps.
Oh, less.
12.
What? Round of applause for
Oh
Bryce
yeah.
Huff.
I mean, I didn't know he was out there, but I mean, Nicholas Moreau managed to get 4 snaps, so I
Hmm.
think that tells you
He
about
just got on the team.
I think think that tells you about the how many backups we're playing. But yeah, 12 snaps for Bryce Huff. Good for him.
And you know what? I did see there was a play where he got pressure on Daniels, and then I saw another play where he was on his ass again. I don't know what it
That's
is with
true.
his. He needs to find the right cleats because he's always on his butt.
So, okay, next question.
Okay.
Who has more snaps in the Super Bowl? Brandon Graham or Bryce Huff?
Oh, Brandon Graham by 100. Even if Brandon Graham doesn't suit up, it's still Brandon Graham.
Fair.
Ugh.
But yeah, I think final thoughts. Again, I'm feeling good. I'm
Uh-huh.
not getting my hopes up though too high. The first time we played the Chiefs, I pretty much was just like expecting us to win. But I'm not counting out the Chiefs. I said it all year. I'm not going to pick against them until they lose. I think we can beat them. And I think we need to stick to our formula. Keep Barkley there, play some good defense. Just do not let Mahomes cook you with his legs like he's done all year. And I mean, Kellen Moore better buckle up and pay attention because Steve Spagnuolo is going to come with everything he's got, like he does every year. And that's one of the things. Fangio will be fine. I'm hoping Kellen Moore doesn't get exposed
Yeah.
by Spagnuolo. So it'll be a tough matchup. But then
These
again,
are
man, winning the Super Bowl will be a hell of a lot better than being the head coach of the Saints. So keep your priorities
yeah.
straight.
Yeah, these are better coaches we have. I mean, Steichen, you could,
Steichen was good.
yeah, Steichen, I give a nod over Kelmore, but not by a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think coaching overall team at every level, I think is better than,
But we'll see. I mean, the defense we touched on, they're all young guys. They had not been here. The offense has been here.
and we only
The
lost
young guys on defense.
because of bullshit pass interference. So
Well, that's true. Well, that and Jalen dropping the ball, but
yeah, it didn't
that's
help. But
yeah, that's we can't overlook that. But I have confidence in Jalen. I really I'm happy Jalen had one of these games. Get the
oh
people off his
yeah,
back because the
oh yeah,
dude, those two passes alone told you everything about you need to know about the passing game.
yeah. He they definitely like reeled him in a little, just because of all the turnovers in the first 4 weeks. Um, but I'm glad they like gave him more opportunities to stretch the plays and throw the ball. And he still had those typical hold on to the ball too long, rollouts, throw the ball away. But he had that one sack that made it a harder field goal for Jake, and he missed it. But
No, Jake was going to miss that regardless. But hey,
yeah,
he had that big throwaway.
yeah,
Then
he had a
they
couple.
scrambled for
He
one.
got out of a couple sacks with his legs that like maybe other than like three quarterbacks would be able to get out of. So
Yeah.
I think,
Listen, he doesn't, knock on wood. He has not turned the ball over. The straight
yeah,
jacket is meant to, hold on to the ball, do not throw a pick, and hand off the ball to Barkley for 30 times a game. And look at that. You're in the Super Bowl.
yeah.
It's a winning formula.
All right. So MVP and score.
Saquon Barkley, Eagles win. I'm going to say 20, 27-21.
Okay. I'm gonna say Eagles win. Let me do my math correctly here. 34-28 Eagles. No, got to factor in some field goals here.
I don't know. I don't want Jake Elliott being too involved in field goals. Well, you got to assume he's probably going to miss an extra point, at least one.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's say 33-27 Eagles. And then obviously, yeah, Saquon Barkley MVP. But I will say in a perfect scenario, in a perfect Super Bowl, so I guess these are bold predictions. Brandon Graham plays, gets a sack on Mahomes. Doesn't have to be a strip sack, but gets a sack on Mahomes, makes a third down sack, forces a punt. And Darius Slay, who's said he's either going to play one more year or he might retire. I think if they win, he's going to retire. Um, gets a pick six.
Pick six. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say
All
Quinion,
right.
but now that when I thought about it, I was like, it'd be nice if Slay got it because they could kind of to go out on top with the Super Bowl and you had a pick six on one of the best quarterbacks of all time. I would retire after that game. So
Yeah, I'd probably call it a year. I don't want to spend another play one season with the, I don't know, the
Oakland Raiders.
Cincinnati Bengals or the Raiders. Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would be a nice swan song for them both. Because I think Graham's 100% retiring. His body can't take this anymore. So,
No. Yeah.
so, but
Well, yeah. Hey,
we shall
Super Bowl
see.
week or
Pro,
pre-Super Bowl week.
Pro Bowl week.
Yeah.
I miss the old Pro Bowls. I mean, it makes sense. You don't really want your players getting hurt in the off season, but it's just I don't know. I don't really dodgeball is kind of fun to watch, but everything else is like meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, we see.
all
Super
right.
Bowl. Let's go,
Well,
baby.
go Birds, and
Go Birds.
everybody have a safe and great week.
Peace.
Peace.